Hey guys, welcome back to 22 Lima Romeo. I'm Jeremy, and today we are here to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday season. But I have a feeling you're here to see how we plan to shoot the December 2024 NRL22 Monthly Course of Fire. Now, this Course of Fire was brought to us by our very own Dominic Thompson. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, please email those right over to him at info@nrl22.com. Now with that being said, I'd like to remind everybody that there is some awesome swag that is up on the website. There's hoodies, t-shirts, beanies, ball caps, and shooting shirts that would make great stocking stuffers for the NRL22 shooter in your family. Now without further ado, let's head out to the range, shoot this Course of Fire, and see how it goes.
First up for this month's Course of Fire, we have Debbie's Hurry Christmas. We have a 1-inch on a KYL at 45 yards, a 1-inch at 63 yards on a single hanger, a 2-inch on a single hanger at 72, a 2-inch on a single hanger at 89, and a 3-inch on a double hanger at 100. We're going to start standing rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with one shot each in the following order. From the 55-gallon barrel, targets 1, 3, and 5. From prone, targets 2 and 4. Then from the top of the sawhorse, targets 1, 3, and 5 again. Then back to prone, targets 2 and 4. Finally, from the 55-gallon barrel, targets 1 and 5.
All right,
Ready?
red eye.
Stand by. Engage.
Starting things off this month, we have a little bit of a reprieve from the difficulty of last month's Course of Fire. For my gear, I'll be using the Harris SPRM bipod with the Really Right Stuff Arca adapter and the Armageddon Gear Schmedium in heavy fill. I'll have my optic set at about 12 power. And I'm going to go ahead and use holdovers for the whole stage. Now in this first position here, we're going to build into a modified prone shooting off the top of the barrel to break these 3 shots. Now if your match director is kind, he's going to set these targets up with 1, 3, 5 being on the left and 2 and 4 being on the right, which is going to make this target engagement pretty simple. I'm going to leave the bipod right there as we build into this prone position to break the shots on targets 2 and 4. Now once we transition here to the sawhorse, you'll notice I slide that bipod out to the end of the stock to help balance the rifle on that sawhorse. I feel like having that additional weight on the end helps balance that rifle, especially if I go ahead and connect my right elbow to my right knee.
It's okay. If it's 5, it's okay.
Naturally, we're going to be a little less stable when we're building a position on this sawhorse. These targets are relatively generous, even though I pull that shot and miss. However, I follow it up, make the connection on the far one, and we go back to the prone position. Now the prone position is simplistic, right? It's all just fundamentals. We build in, we anchor the stock of the rifle into the bag, and as you can see that reticle almost goes completely still, even after I pull the trigger and I feel the recoil impulse. You hardly see that reticle move at all. Now unfortunately, I did not break all my shots in this because we were a little distracted. During match day, we only have rimfire going off, and today we had a bunch of centerfire like 15 feet from us.
No, we're just gonna roll with that. I don't wanna. It's already bad enough.
Let's go ahead and get on to the next stage for this month's Course of Fire.
Yep.
Next up, we have Don't Fall Like Santa Did. We have a 1.5 and 2 on a double hanger at 84 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets from large to small with one shot each, from the following positions on the rooftop in order. From the peak, then to the center, to the bottom, back to the center, and finally back to the peak. Note, the rooftop peak is facing to the right.
2 minutes. Ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
Stand by. Engage.
Getting into stage 2, for my gear, I'll be using the Harris SPRM bipod with the left leg completely deployed and the right leg completely collapsed, and I'll be using the Armageddon Gear pint size and heavy fill. I'll have my optic set at about 12 power, and I'll have my elevation dialed for these 2 targets. The name of the game on this stage is building into solid positions from different elevations on the prop. Transitioning up and down this rooftop presents its own bit of challenges, because the bipod wants to slide a little bit, especially on this rooftop prop where we only have carpet instead of shingles like some rooftops. Now, I do the best I can to make sure that the rifle is stable before I start my trigger squeezes. Now, as we make our way down, I decide to take a prone position. However, what this does is it puts my back into a bit of an arc, and it's mildly uncomfortable to shoot from this prone position and run the bolt. However, we make the best of it, break these 2 shots, barely touching that top one, and then move right back up to the center. This stage, you have plenty of time, so I highly recommend you don't rush your shots and allow your rifle to get nice and stable, because this is a modified prone, so you should be able to build into really stable positions. Always use whatever you can, get any advantage that you can. For me, that was using the bipod with that leg deployed and that rear bag. I was able to slide the bipod up about midway up the ARCA rail, and that gave me enough room on the rooftop to actually make this a truly modified prone position, and we get a clean on that one. Let's go ahead and get into the next stage for this month's Course of Fire. For stage 3, we have no L time like the present. We have a 2.5 and 3 inch on a double hanger at 100 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets from each tip and the center with 1 shot on the large and 2 shots on the small. You may choose the position order to engage the targets from. Note, this is the time stage where you earn 0.1 bonus point per second remaining on the clock.
Yep, now I'm ready.
Stand by. Engage.
Alright guys, getting into stage 3 for my gear. I'll be using the Armageddon Gear Medium and Heavy Fill. I'll have my optic set at about 10 power, and I'll have my elevation dialed for that target. Building into position in the center of the tank trap, I'm going to anchor my right knee to my right elbow, and that's going to give me the most stability from this prop that I can achieve. I want to use that stability to get myself a pretty good wind call before I have to transition to the tips of the tank trap where I'm going to be less stable. Now, when building into positions on the tips, I always try to employ the same technique. I do my best to square my hips up with the rifle and the firing line, and use my support hand to make contact with the bag and the stock of the rifle while it's sitting on the tip. And then I'm just going to repeat that same process for every one of these tips. Now, with the targets being out there at 100 yards and my optic being at such low power, it really does make finding the targets pretty simple when I employ a little bit of natural point of aim. That natural point to aim will carry you far in this sport. Just keeping your eyes on the target as you go to build into position really will help you orient that barrel towards the target so that when you get behind your glass as you build into position, you can see those targets immediately and you don't waste a lot of time trying to find that thing. Keeping your optic at a lower power for positional shooting is beneficial because you'll find that you get on target a heck of a lot faster than if you have your magnification set way high and your field of view choked down. This was a good one to practice on. Let's jump right into stage 4.
33 seconds left.
Nice.
Next up, we have stage 4, up and down the Christmas tree. We have a 2.5 on a double hanger at 83 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the target with 1 shot from 10 different positions. Positions are the outside left and right 2x4 sections and the middle 2x4 sections.
Ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Engage.
Moving right on into the pyramid stage for this month's Course of Fire. For my gear, I'll be using the Armageddon Gear Medium and Heavy Fill. I'll have my optic set at about 10 power, and I'll have my elevation dialed for the target. For the first position, I'm going to go to the low left side because that's where I find I'm most stable. That stability is going to lend for a good wind call that I can employ for the rest of this stage. Now, given the fact that we only take 1 shot per position, speed is definitely going to be an element for this stage. Having a good game plan on how you're going to approach each rung is going to be the key to success on this one. A trick I like to use when shooting from the pyramid is to use my support hand as a wedge between the bell of the optic and the rung directly above the one that I'm engaging from. I feel that helps me steady the rifle and get shots on target quicker than if I just work on trying to balance that thing off the bag. Now, as far as my own strategy goes, I feel it's best to work straight up the left side and straight down the right side. This stage is definitely designed to push your position building fundamentals. I really am growing to love this prop in the NRL22 barricade list, and I'm really looking forward to some of the other creative ways that other match designers are going to find for us to use this thing.
I was aimed dead center, and it's just below the border of the paper. I'm not sure how far it would be.
18 seconds left.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up and get into the last stage for this month's Course of Fire. Wrapping this month's Course of Fire up, we have Don't Crumpus My Stage. We have a 1/2 3/4 on a KYL rack at 47 yards, a 1.5 on a double hanger at 67, and a 2.5 on a double hanger at 95 yards. We're going to start standing, rifle at the high ready, and all gear in hand, mag in, action open. On the start signal, engage the targets with one shot each, large to small, in the following order and manner. From the center blocks, near to far. From the chair seat, far to near. Finally, from the tire stack, near to far.
Ready?
Yeah.
Stand by. Engage.
Wrapping things up this month, we have our most prop-intensive stage for this month's Course of Fire. For my gear, I'll be using the Armageddon Gear Schmedium, the Harris SBR and bipod with the Really Right Stuff ARCA adapter. I'll have my optic set at about 10 power to start, and I'll be using holdovers for the stage. Now, building into the first two positions are going to be very similar. I'm going to use a low kneel, and I'm going to try to anchor part of my right arm to my right knee. I'm going to use my support hand to reach up and apply a little bit of pressure onto the stock to settle it down into the bag to buy me some stability on these props for those small target engagements on the KYL rack. Now, the difficulty in this stage is just the KYLs. The shot sequence isn't too complicated, but we always have to engage the two KYL targets, large to small, and that might trip some people up. However, it says clearly in the stage description that we're going to engage near to far, large to small. So keep that in mind as you're making your way through this stage. Once we transition up to the tires, I'm going to flip my bipod down, and I'm going to try to build a modified prone position on this stack. Unfortunately, being on a stack of tires definitely does have its disadvantages. Any little variation or movement is magnified by that stack of tires. So trying to get the stability you're looking for to engage that small target is going to be challenging. As you can see, it proved to be too challenging for me, and I missed that shot.
15 seconds.
I lost my carry. There we are.
Yeah.
As always, I had a lot of fun on this Course of Fire,
For a
and I hope you did too.
2AK is probably fine.
6 seconds
You
left.
can see how you want to
You got to hustle on that one.
tweak it and then.
All right, guys, well, that is a wrap for the December 2024 NRL22 monthly Course of Fire. Big shout out to our boy Dominic Thompson. You did a fantastic job on this month's Course of Fire, and it was a nice change of pace compared to the last few that we've had this season. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, reach down there, click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to share this video with a shooting buddy who's just getting into NRL22. I'm sure they'll appreciate it and find it very helpful. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we hope to see you out on the range.